And we stay in Venezuela as the development of social projects in communes and urban areas throughout the country is moving forward despite constant obstacles from the U.S. Details with our colleague Michelle Ramirez.
La comuna socialista Fabricio Ojeda,
the Fabricio Ojeda Socialist Commune, located west of the Venezuelan capital, remains a grassroots organization, implementing various plans for the benefit of the commune.
Currently, our commune has 4,318 families with 10,718 inhabitants, of which, thanks to our president and the popular consultations, we have been able to improve the water system, although there is still a lot of demand, but we have made progress on the issue of drinking water and wastewater. We have improved some roads and stairs.
One of the projects they are implementing is the expansion and improvement of the Cecilia Núñez Sucre Municipal School to increase its enrollment and meet educational needs, as part of the self-government policies.
Thanks to the City Council of Caracas, we are receiving the benefit of the expansion of 6 classrooms. These 6 classrooms are to respond to the needs of the population. First, we are going to focus on children who are not in school, who, for one reason or another, have not studied. So, at this time, we are going to be responding to them.
Residents and commune leaders highlighted that, despite Washington's strong efforts to strangle the country's economy, they have managed to make progress and improve their communes as part of the achievements of the revolution.
We are alert to imperial threats, but we are also responding to them in a timely manner. This is how we respond, by working and further consolidating the revolutionary process through actions, not confrontation. We are a territory of peace. Venezuela is a territory of peace, and we are moving toward that by further consolidating peace in the territories, and showing the world that we can do it, and that we are working for the welfare of the nation.
Socialist urban planner Fabricio Ojeda joined the Venezuelan people in their massive and resounding rejection of the United States government's aggression, assuring that they are ready to defend their homeland.
We reject everything that is imposed on our Venezuela, which is the homeland of all of us, where we were born and where our children are being raised. Together with Commander Hugo Chavez, when he was alive, and now with Nicolas Maduro, who is our commander, always peace and struggle with him until death.
Through the implementation of these communal projects, the communes demonstrate that unity and organization are the weapons of the Venezuelan people to confront and overcome the siege of the North American Empire, which seeks to destabilize not only the government of Venezuela, but also its people.
En la Cámara de Marcos da Silva, Michelle Ramírez desde Caracas, Venezuela, para TeleSUR.
In Colombia, the Special Jurisdiction for Peace, a transitional justice body created in the context of the 2016 peace agreements, issued the first sentences against members of the former FARC-EP guerrilla group in the context of what was the armed conflict in the country. Hernán Tobar with the report.
La Jurisdicción Especial para la Paz emitió su primera sentencia.
The Special Jurisdiction for Peace issued its first restorative sentence for the 7 top leaders who made up the former secretariat of the now-defunct FARC guerrilla group, which found them responsible in the so-called Macro Case 001, related to hostage-taking and kidnapping, crimes against humanity committed between 1993 and 2016, and perpetrated in the context of the armed conflict, whose victims exceed the more than 4,000 accredited by the Special Jurisdiction for Peace.
En la que se responsabiliza a los comparecientes,
in which the appearing parties are held responsible and consequently are imposed the maximum penalty applicable in this model of justice, that is, 8 years of penalty taking into account their acknowledgement of their responsibility and their exhaustive and detailed contribution to revealing patterns and policies, but also taking into account the seriousness of the crimes and the highest level of responsibility they held in that organization.
Crímenes y la máxima responsabilidad que ostentaban en esa organización.
Esta determinación jurídica impuesta por el máximo.
This legal determination imposed by the highest court of transitional justice was announced after the highest commanders of the former FARC recognized in the related events and contributions to the truth that do not involve imprisonment, but rather social actions, and work with victims.
Asumimos la resolución de conclusiones.
We accept the resolution of conclusions as part of the recognition of the pain of the victims of reparation and of reconciliation.
La reparación, a la reconciliación. Entendemos que este proceso que se inicia.
We understand that this process that is beginning is complex and unprecedented for Colombia, and that we will have to develop very sustained actions to be able to guarantee the recognition of the pain of the victims.
Reconocimiento del dolor de las víctimas.
Representantes de organizaciones de derechos humanos
Representatives of human rights organizations and congressmen highlight the importance of this decision.
Es una decisión y es
It is a decision and a process that is unprecedented in the history of humanity, and that will have what is going to happen in Colombia as its laboratory.
lo que va a ocurrir en Colombia. Así que creo que
So I believe that this is a substantial step forward for peace, for the victims, for restorative justice.
restaurativa para poder
In order to move forward on that long road to compensate for the enormous damage caused by the crimes committed in the armed conflict.
los crímenes cometidos en el conflicto armado.
Y se empiece.
Las sanciones estipuladas giran en torno a proyectos
The
sociales.
penalties stipulated revolve around social projects to compensate victims, humanitarian demining work, the search for missing persons, environmental and agricultural memory projects, exceptional restrictions on freedom and mobility. Some of the victims are not satisfied with the contributions to the truth, and their representatives see little clarity in specific aspects of particular redress.
Pero le falta a la sentencia señalar
But the
cuál
ruling fails to specify the penalty that each of these 7 members of the former secretariat will have to serve, for how long, in which territory, and how many victims would specifically benefit from the implementation of these penalties.
sería de la puesta en práctica de estas sanciones.
Este Tribunal de Justicia Restaurativa
This restorative justice court was created following the 2016 peace process agreements between the government and the former FARC-EP. It investigates, tries, and punishes the most serious crimes of the armed conflict, created to satisfy the rights of victims, offer them truth, and contribute to their reparation, with the purpose of building a stable and lasting peace.
Hernán Darío Tobar Gaitán, Telesur, Bogotá, Colombia.
Mexico and the United States and Canada have begun the consultation process prior to the review of the trade agreement scheduled for 2026. Daniel Rosas with the details.
El escenario es una exposición de cerámica
The setting is an exhibition of traditional ceramics, with the eagle as a national symbol, but also as a symbol of Made in Mexico, in a context in which consultations will begin prior to the review of the North American Trade Agreement.
El objetivo es llegar a 26.
The objective is to reach 2026 with all the necessary elements for negotiation to review the treaty. The treaty must be decided on July 1st whether or not it will continue in 2026 if it is to continue.
¿Sigue? 2026. ¿Sí va a seguir?
The Mexican government's priorities are clear.
¿Por qué me pones aranceles?
Why are you imposing tariffs on steel and aluminum? Why are you imposing tariffs on the automotive industry? Why are you imposing countervailing duties on tomatoes?
Empresarios, académicos, sindicatos.
Business leaders, academics, trade unions all are called upon to participate over the coming months to give their opinions on what should be retained and what should be changed.
In our case, IT was 60 days. The United States proposes 90 days, and we can extend IT for an additional 30 days.
El inicio de la revisión, si bien ya tenía fecha pactada,
The start of the review, although already scheduled, comes at a unique time due to the presence of Donald Trump in the White House, according to experts.
Ya no se puede definir por una sola potencia.
The course of action can no longer be determined by a single power. This places us in a unique situation because it has become clear that the United States, the great power of the 20th century, has been limited by the emergence of new economic powers.
De nuevas potencias económicas.
Entonces yo creo que es, además de todo, una muy buena.
So I believe that above all, it is a very good opportunity to review not only technical and economic, but also democratic and popular, in the sense of whether it continues to be an instrument that benefits us, that helps us, and what changes are important for our new objectives.
Son importantes para nuestros nuevos objetivos, ¿no?
He refers to Mexico's import substitution plan.
El inicio de las consultas coincide con un encuentro
The start of the consultations coincides with a meeting between Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, whose central theme will be binational trade, but will also discuss the treaty they have with the United States.
En la Cámara, Víctor Hugo Figueroa, Daniel Rosas, TeleSUR, Ciudad de México.
And we stay in Venezuela as the development of social projects in communes and urban areas throughout the country is moving forward despite constant obstacles from the U.S. Details with our colleague Michelle Ramirez.
La comuna socialista Fabricio Ojeda,
The Fabricio Ojeda Socialist Commune, located west of the Venezuelan capital, remains a grassroots organization, implementing